Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking right now, multiple new developments unfolding in Canada to end the blockade on the Ambassador Bridge. Ontario's premier has a simple message for the people responsible.
I urge you, it's time to leave.
Doug Ford made that comment today as he declared a state of emergency in the province.
So let's take you through some of the big headlines at 5 o'clock. Within the last 10 minutes now, a Canadian judge granted an injunction that would allow police to forcibly remove the protesters and get traffic moving on the bridge again. The people blocking the road could also now face extremely steep fines and loss of their licenses. As it all happens, manufacturing here in Metro Detroit facing temporary shutdowns now from the part shortages resulting from the blockade. Business editor Rod Maloney following that story from our side of the border. We'll get to him in just a moment.
We're going to start, though, with our Priya Mann. She's live across the border in Windsor tonight. Priya, despite that injunction, those protesters say they aren't leaving.
Yeah, that's right. Kim, Devin, good evening. Yeah, these protesters say they're not going anywhere. You can hear those horns starting to go. Let me just give you a sense of just how many folks are here. Hundreds have gathered at the Ambassador Bridge. That's the bridge off in the distance. And of course, the closure of the bridge is why that automotive group asked for the injunction, which they just received. Now, throughout the day, there's been a sense of jubilation. The protesters here very passionate about why they are here. But you're starting to hear pockets of conversations as that judge's decision starts to make its way through these crowds of protesters. Also want to show you the heavy police presence that's been here all day. So far, they have not been moving these protesters out, but that could change as this judge's decision goes into effect.
A lot of people lost their job around here.
That's right.
They got nothing to go back to.
Protesters say they have no plans to leave as the blockade at the Ambassador Bridge enters its 5th day.
We're out here to stand for freedom, and that's what it is.
They dubbed themselves the Freedom Convoy. Protesters want vaccine mandates and COVID restrictions in Canada to end.
These people will leave as soon as all the federal and provincial mandates are lifted.
What started in the nation's capital has now shut down the busiest land border crossing in North America. Some say it's time for the Freedom Convoy to roll out of Windsor.
The word freedom, I see it everywhere here. I don't think these people know what freedom is, and they're using it wrong.
Every day, $400 million worth of goods move across the Ambassador Bridge, but not a single truck has crossed since protesters took over the entrance to the bridge on Monday. 5 car companies have canceled shifts or reduced production capacity, and economists warn the standoff could lead to higher inflation and a shortage of imported goods.
I feel like blocking the bridge is too much because international goods are coming in and there's no way for us to get any goods if they block it for a long time, you know?
And again, these protesters say they aren't going anywhere. You see RVs here, trailers here. That big tent that you're looking at, there's an entire food setup there with barbecues going. These protesters, they say they are not leaving. But again, a judge has just ruled in favor of that injunction, meaning law enforcement can come here and move these protesters out. And again, you're starting to get a sense of the mood shifting ever so slightly as folks are learning about that judge's decision. We will have much more coverage tonight at 6 o'clock. Reporting live from Windsor, I'm Priya Mann. Local 4.
All right, Priya, now on the American side of the border, it's been a quiet day of anticipation.
Yeah, Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney has been there and is live now with the latest and this ripple effect that this is having on the auto industry, Rod.
Right, and you know, it's quiet up here on the bridge. We've been waiting all day to see if, in fact, there would be any vehicles coming across. There was a point where we thought there might be some, but the blockade has stayed fast and steadfast. And so now the question is, will this end tonight? We don't know, but the auto companies are sure hoping it does. Here's the rundown on the domestic 3 problems. Ford saying its Ohio assembly plant is down as a result of a part shortage associated with this situation. The plant makes medium-duty trucks and super-duty chassis. That's a 1,600 worker layoff. Ford goes on to say our plants in Oakville and Windsor are running at reduced capacity. Over at Stellantis, they're telling us all Stellantis North America plants started Friday morning, but this remains an incredibly fluid situation. And GM tells us their first shifts ended early. Now the second shifts are working at the Cami plant in Ingersoll, Ontario, where they make the Terrain and Torrent SUVs, and the Flynn assembly plant where they make the heavy-duty pickup. GM has taken a flying parts in. And economist Patrick Anderson says that tells you just how intense this crisis is becoming.
when you see automakers put heavy parts on planes just to fly them 50 miles across the border, you know that there's a lot of money on the line and a lot of production and employment that's being affected.
Which has Governor Gretchen Whitmer reaching out to Washington and the Canadian government for a quick end to this and offering heavy equipment support.
We've got to push to resolve this, and it's got to be swift. And of course, we want it to be safely done as well, but it has to happen. We cannot let another minute go by unnecessarily.
Now behind me here are the booths at the bridge where the trucks come in and check in with their weights and their paperwork, and even cars come in here as well. They have been spreading salt out here today. The Homeland Security officers have been around in here, moving around quite a bit in anticipation of traffic. So far, we haven't seen any, but certainly if in fact we do, we'll break in then. Reporting live in Detroit, Rod Maloney, back to you.
Indeed. Okay, Rod, thank you. And our coverage of the bridge shutdown continues during this 90 minutes of news and over on clickondetroit.com.
And there you can find the story that we are constantly updating as this situation develops. You'll find it right on the homepage. Right now, to some very encouraging signs in today's coronavirus numbers. The state reporting 5,716 new cases over the past 2 days. So below the 3,000 mark a day, 2,800 cases a day right now. That's close to 1,000 cases lower than the midweek average. 152 more deaths, though, also being reported, including 110 from a Vital Records review.
And the 7-day moving average really shows how much things are improving. 3 Fridays ago, we were averaging 13,000 cases per day. Today, the average is 3,300.
As cases continue to decline across the state, counties have started to rescind mask mandates in schools.
Here's the list so far. Ingham County's mandate will end on February 19th, and Washtenaw and Oakland counties will end on the 28th. Paula Tutman has been closely tracking the situation in schools throughout the pandemic. She joins us now with how these decisions were made. Paula.
Hi, good evening, everybody. You know what? I would say this is a pretty fast-moving train, and we're starting to see a bit of a sea change. I've been talking to educators and health officials really across the state. They appear to be working together and in lockstep with one another as they try to move from pandemic behavior to endemic behavior. But because mask mandates have been political and really polarizing with people, you can expect that this decision to roll back these mask mandates at schools is going to be just as polarizing.
We are still in a pandemic. That is what it is.
Kathleen Lucas has 2 children in the Hudsonville Public School District outside of Grand Rapids. Her family is vaccinated and her children wear masks to school in a district that doesn't require them. And COVID still ran through her family.
The 3rd day back from Christmas break, my 7-year-old was exposed by a classmate who was not wearing a mask, and COVID ran through our entire family pretty quickly. We are hopefully all okay. I actually have some lasting effects. It's been about a month now, so we'll see if those go away.
Alan Pike, whose 8-year-old daughter goes to the Romeo School District in Macomb County, again, no masks required, and he's good with it.
However, when you're stuck behind the same mask all day long, I worry about the rebreathing of the bacteria and whatever else is in that mask. I don't feel it's healthy for the kids.
Health departments often comparing information and data points are moving towards removing mask mandates in schools. In Oakland County, which announced today school mask mandates will be removed February 28th, they say it's all about the numbers and the data. In Oakland County, with more than 900,000 vaccinations, or 75% of the eligible population, or to the finer point, of the 200,000 5 to 19-year-old school-aged children eligible to be vaxxed, with 120,000 or 55% vaccinated, the county health department says the numbers are going in the right direction.
Looking at the data, we feel we've reached that time. We've seen a significant drop in cases and hospitalizations.
Ingham County schools doing the same, with close to 74% of the eligible population vaxxed, including 40% of 5 to 11-year-olds and about 62% of 12 to 15-year-olds. Health officer for the county, Linda Vale, says unlike the wild variant all the way to Lambda, in which masks were worn to protect others from you, she says with the now dominant Omicron variant, the right mask, the KN95, provides protection to the mask wearer.
Which is why we shifted to recommending higher quality masks those masks now, by choice of any parent, will protect the individual in the school environment from the infection, as opposed to just protecting the source from basically exposing others to droplets and respiratory. So we have a lot more choices available.
You know, what's interesting is when I talk to health departments and to their health officers, they say they are still strongly recommending masks be worn in school. They're just dropping these mandates, and so that they want parent, or rather districts, to be able to choose. By the way, stay with me, because at 6 o'clock, interestingly enough, we do hear from a school district that says it's had great success keeping COVID numbers down in its school district, and it happens to be one of the districts that has a mask mandate when many of the school districts around it does not. And so we'll have that report coming up at 6, guys.
You bet. All right, Paula, we will talk to you then. Now let's get to major developments surrounding tensions in Ukraine and the threat of an invasion by Russia.
Yeah, things are changing fast. Jason Colthorpe is following it for us tonight. Jason, there are multiple signs that this could be imminent.
Yeah, there is U.S. intelligence, Kim, suggesting this could happen even before the Olympics are over. And it's serious enough now that the U.S. is warning all Americans in Ukraine to leave in the next 24 to 48 hours. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told media today they're seeing an escalation from Russia, including more troops amassing on the Ukrainian border. He says they are in a window here where an invasion could happen at any time. Now, President Biden is warning Americans to leave as well, saying sending U.S. troops in after to rescue Americans would result in world war. His words. All that said, the U.S. believes Russian President Vladimir Putin has not made a final decision to invade or not. If he does, it's expected to look like a lot of missile attacks and a siege possibly on the city of Kiev. The U.S. response to that action, again, if it happens, would be economic sanctions against Russia. Obviously, we'll be monitoring that situation, which, as you said, Kim, is changing by the minute, by the hour. Back to you guys in the studio.